Hello, everyone, and welcome to CASCAR. I'm your host tonight, Noel Walter, here with the WEAG Designs 150 at Charlotte Motor Speedway, otherwise known as the Beast of the Southeast. 1.5-mile racetrack we are at here tonight with 24 degrees of banking in these historic turns. This track has been in operation since 1960. Been on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule for a very long time with that, and we are in for a fantastic race here for our second time out this next season, as we are on season number 3 now of the CASCAR Shorter Plumbing Cup Series in our playoffs. Last season it was the CASCAR World 300 and was earlier on in the season, so that's why it's been a while since we have last been here. However, we are in for a fantastic race. The practice and qualifying times have been absolutely stellar in terms of how close they are. I mean, the second to last qualifying time, just going with that one because the last is a bit of an outlier, is just over half a second off of the leader. That is close. Oh, good to know. Thank you very much for letting me know. I certainly do appreciate it, Mike. It makes a huge difference, making sure everybody is happy with the volumes and what everything does look like. So, and if anybody else has any issues with anything going on during the stream, please, by all means, let me know. It's good to make sure all that stuff gets into order as fast as possible. But with that, we have just rounded out qualifying, so we're going to run through our qualifying order here tonight and see where everybody has ended up. Well, with that, starting on pole position, it's going to be the infamous number 20, Brady Floyd, coming back once again after missing last race at Watkins Glen. Remember, he is not in the playoffs and does not have something to gain in that regard, so that is going to be making this race that much more interesting, especially with a blistering time, just like that. Alongside, it's going to be playoff contender Rob Carl. Remember, he was leading on in the season for a very long time, but now has been in a title fight between himself and a lot of the Equipment Geek drivers. Row number 2, inside lane, is going to be the number 41 of Richard Drake, someone that's been struggling very hard in these last couple of races, so it's good to see him back once again. Alongside, it's going to be Matt Stewart in the 7. Row number 3, inside lane, goes to the 07 there of Wes Gallo. You can tell whose car that is by the bright green, as they call it, Volt Green Toyota Camry. You can actually see right through the screen. Next to him is going to be the 3 of Matt Malavagna. Row number 4, inside lane, goes to the 28 of Paul Ems, with Jeffrey Belk bringing up the outside lane in row number 4. Row number 5, inside, goes to Greg Snellgrove, with Patrick Coluccio bringing up 10th position for his 18 Chevrolet Camaro. Row number 6, inside lane, goes to Brian Fradian in the 81, and the 88 of Tyler Allahan brings up 12th position. Row number 7, inside lane, goes to the number 42 of Michael Sparks, with Ashton Reiki in his second start recently, in the number 26 and 14th. Row number 8, inside lane, goes to Mark LaPierre in the 8, with Brandon Fiedler in the 39 alongside. Row number 9, inside lane, goes to Cody Snyder, with Daniel Sparks bringing up 18th. Then in row number 10, it is going to be Jesse Atkinson, going to be in the 00 Barbie car in his first start in a very long time. I believe the last time we saw him was at the Bristol race, and 2 cars not showing are going to be Sylvan Seguin and Michael Jennings. And that has been your qualifying order. 21 cars here tonight for the CASCAR Shorter Plumbing Cup Series. I don't know about you, but I am very excited to see this race. As I said before, all of times were incredibly close together. We're for a great race. Yes, and that is Donk there, we can see from Jesse. If you want to check out WEAG Designs, you can find them over on Instagram at WEAG_designs. They do tons of fantastic paints, many of which can be seen out here tonight. With that, though, as we round turn number 4, the iRacing.com pace truck is going to pull down to red down the pit lane. As we go into the quad oval, Brady Floyd is going to lead us to the restart zone. And there it is. There we go. Come on. Green flag flies. Jeez, it takes forever sometimes in this sim. Rounding turn 4 now as we go through the quad oval. It has been our first lap here at Charlotte. Brady Floyd was able to lead the lap from pole position. He's getting some heavy contention right now from Rob Carl and Richard Drake. Looks like Drake is falling a little bit now. Richard Drake has been on a very tough struggle streak recently, so it's good to see him right now running towards the front. Remember, he is still in the playoffs and has points to contend for, but he's currently sitting towards the back. He's going to have to try very hard to make sure he can either win this race or stay right up there in the top 3 if he really wants to progress, as Rob Carl steers away the lead from Brady Floyd. Sheffield comes through 1 and 2 now as we leave. This was previously Lowe's Motor Speedway for some of our older guys out there. I'm sure you remember that. The house that Jimmy built due to Jimmy Johnson's dominance here for most of his career. Brady Floyd looks to be losing time, though, to Matt Stewart behind in the 7. As he continues to try to chase down for those positions. Matt has been on a very interesting racing... How do I refer to that? His points have been looking very weird over the last several races he's been in. He's been up towards the front, especially earlier on, to be very competitive, but either just caught up in bad luck or just loses speed absolutely quickly and falls off and just cannot make it towards the end in a high-positioned place. So if he can have a really competitive car tonight, I think this is going to be a great race for Matt Stewart in the 17. Jeffrey Belk just coming off his 3rd win at Watkins Glen, coming up to try to contend for the lead now, able to pass up into 3rd on the outside of Stewart there. As they now race through, you can see, whoa, Brady Floyd still losing time. That's down to the bottom for the 55 of Belk, and there he is coming up to slide through to take 2nd away. Bottom lane at Charlotte is the fastest line, but shoes up your tires. Expect a lot of these guys to be sticking towards the high side. That is the line to run. Ooh, maybe into the wall there for Malavanya. So he looks to be struggling for pace there, but he's finally got it back under control once again. So your field races on by. That 3 Raise Energy Chevrolet Camaro we know has been struggling for a lot this season, but finally is in a contending position right now. Back up to 4th. Charlotte might be a great race for Matt here tonight, and hopefully so. Friend of the channel, Matt Malavanya, is. On his inside right now, it's our race sponsor, Wes Gallo for WEAG Designs. Right now running his bright Volt Green Equip Me Geek Toyota Camry. Coming down on the bottom, hoping to get by, but it looks like they're going to be locked side by side as they continue to race through here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in South Carolina. Five degrees of banking through the stretches. That is the front and back, as 24 is in the turns. It's a very big change, and we can look at that a little bit later when we hop inside, as Jeffrey Belk has taken away the lead. It's a battle for your lead between your top 3. Jeffrey Belk currently has it, keeping Rob Carl forced onto the bottom, with Brady Floyd bringing up 3rd right now, currently blocking these guys from getting any further. Does not want to give anyone an advantage. If he can be Brady sticking in 3rd, that's where he wants to be, even if he can't be up front. Keep an eye on Brady, though. We know that he can be very fast. However, Brady is not the only Mustang in the field here tonight. Joining him will be the 00. Oh, wrecking! Never mind. We'll come back to that in a moment. We'll be right back and see what brought out our caution. Alright, apologies for the wait. We finally have it up here. Let's go ahead and head on inside. Currently following along with the 07 of Wes Gallo as we come up through the turn. He looks like he just gets a little bit too hot and collects the 41 of Richard Drake. We're going to take a bit of a different view at that and rewind and try again to see a bit more. There we go. We can watch that once again. Shooting it 3 wide. Drake is there trying to get between Malavanya and Ems, but it looks like he slows down just a bit more than Wes was expecting. Accidentally turns him, it looks like, as they head down to the bottom. Snellgrove dives out of the way. Hallahan not fast enough out of the way. Coluccio slides up. LaPierre up out of the way. Whoa, very close, but he collects sparks, and I think Jesse slammed on the brakes hard, trying to slow down as he was trapped down the bottom, but couldn't get anywhere. Snyder into the wall a bit there, too. That is going to create some very interesting drama as we head forward, as a lot of these guys are going to be in the pits now. Up to real time. You can see there are a lot of them leaving the pits now, but that is actually a really important thing to mention, is the fuel strategy here is roughly 40 laps, maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more, depending on how you drive. So the fact that we are now on lap number 10 and these guys are able to take fuel, that's a huge important factor to watch. So expect some very close fuel runs to the finish. And a lot of guys, especially some of the guys that we know can take interesting fuel strategies, Jennings, Jeff, a lot of the Equipment Geek guys in general, but maybe some of your Great White Northern guys too, all expect them to dive down on these last few laps of the pit lane just so that they can top off their car and try to make it to the end on fuel. It is going to be a close one. Still an unfortunate accident between the 07 and the 41 of Richard Drake. As I said before, Richard Drake, he's been having a bit of a struggle when it comes to some of these races lately. And hopefully this is not a sign of more to come, but thankfully it was not too bad of an incident. Nobody was too terribly destroyed, just some damage for a few guys. As I was going to be mentioning earlier, Brady Floyd is not the only Mustang driver out in the field. It is also the 00 of Jesse Atkinson. You can see him running the Barbie car here tonight, very slow as he heads down the into the entry of turn number 1. You can follow his stream on Twitch as well over at Mr. Teddy Kim's. As our cars are going to be too wide once again, we're going to be going racing very shortly. So got to give a huge thank you, of course, to WEAG Designs, who helps put on some of these races. You can follow them on Instagram at WEAG_designs to get all your iRacing painting needs. Also got to give a huge thank you to Schroeder Plumbing, a family-run company that's been in business for over 50 years in the southeastern Wisconsin area. They specialize in residential new construction and remodeling plumbing services. They also work with several local builders, or they will work with individuals hoping to build their dream home or do their own remodeling. You give them a call at their office number. That is 262-971-0401. That number, once again, is 262-971-0401. Schroeder Plumbing. That was put on our entire series and our playoffs, so of course, huge shout out to them. With that, the iRacing.com pace car heads down into pit lane once again as we roll through the quad oval, going through the restart zone. Wait for a green flag. Jeffrey Bell can be taking the lead off of this one, chooses to stay to the outside as Rob Carl currently stays on the bottom. Rob's going to be at an advantage at first as he will have the faster line, especially as these cars begin to wind up. But keep a very big eye out for that outside lane to really become fast, not just as we head down through the backstretch, but as we go into the next lap as well. Right under the rear bumper, that is the 20 of Brady Floyd on the 2 of Carl. Now as they roll through 3 and 4. Now, almost into the wall for a lot of these guys. That's going to be Rob Carl now into the lead. He's able to block the 55 of Jeffrey Belk as they head through turns 1 and 2 once again now. How long will he be able to hold on to it? And let's see what this defense is really going to look like. Matt Malavani currently sticking in 4th position. He's got a great car here tonight there in that Raise Energy number 3. He's got a great grip of this track, it seems. Hopefully that can keep up as we start heading under the lights. Paul Emsdo dives down to the bottom and take away 4th. Hopefully I didn't just commentator's curse him again. But there it is. Paul Ems now up into 4th in the 28 Valvoline Chevrolet. Also with a great car here tonight. He was sitting on top of practice for a very long time before heading into qualifying. So Paul, as we know, will be a weapon. But we've been able to see that all season as well. Paul Ems is never the guy to count out, especially when you're in these just outside the top 3 positions. I think that's going to be Matt Stewart looking to go around the outside of Matt Malavani, the 7 and the 3, battling it out for 5th. That's going to be going for this lap at least. Caution out once again. Not sure who got involved in that one. That's not good. All right, we'll be right back. We rejoin now. Well, along with the 07 OS Gallo, once again, you can see him sticking up to the high side. Richard Drake there in the 41 on the bottom. Looks like they're about to shoot it 3 wide there with Sylvan Seguin, who keeps up the center. Sylvan goes high. I don't know if he can keep it down. Oh, collects into West Gallo. 66 of Sylvan Seguin. Interestingly, in a Toyota this race. He's usually in a Chevrolet. Uh-oh, it looks like Daniel Sparks and Michael Jennings and Michael Sparks collide into each other. Michael Jennings there in the 86. As they're trying to avoid. Gets sent into the wall. Gallo slams on the brakes, trying to avoid him. Very close. Oh, they touched just a little bit, but not too bad. Unfortunate for a lot of these guys here tonight. They are not having a great night. That much is for sure. And hopefully a lot of their luck can improve. But this is actually a really good thing for several other drivers who I'm sure are very excited to finally have a good position for not just fuel, but also just good track position in general. Charlotte is one of those tracks where it's incredibly difficult to pass at, so if you can get some track position on pit lane, you're going to take it. Currently sitting in third right now, it's Tyler Hallahan, and he's got a lot of teammates around him, so I'm sure he is pretty happy with that. Richard Drake currently sitting in fifth as well. Well, if you have somebody you want me to bring up out in the chat, please let me know. I'd be glad to do so. In the meantime, however, let's, who are we going to grab? Let's grab Patrick Coluccio. Usually has something interesting to say there in the 18. Just one moment and we'll grab him. Patrick, open the booth. Do you read me?
Hey, Noah.
Currently sitting in fourth position. You've had a very interesting race so far, able to climb up a lot of positions due to these cautions.
Yeah, I'm just kind of holding on here. I'm not going to race any of these playoff guys super hard, so, you know, I'm just trying to race cleanly, but also not be in the way. So, that's what I'm really trying to do here. Just, you know, finish out strong, but not being in the playoff guys' ways and ruin their races. So, that's all we're doing here.
I suppose that's a bit of an interesting, position you have here. Is you're not in the playoffs, but you still have a, competitive car. We've been able to see you up front a few times here in the last couple of races. What is that like, being able to, be competitive, but you want to make sure you're not in the way?
It's kind of what it was like for me at the end of last year, right? Like, I was kind of competitive at the end of last year, too. That kind of started coming on strong, and then I wasn't in the playoffs in the round of 4, and, you just got to let the guys race, but also try and, give them space, but also race them hard enough to where you're not, impeding super hard, so. Or it's not, doesn't look intentional, right? So, just got to race guys, so. But we're trying to hold on here and just watch what these guys do and see who's around us. So, just really paying attention to who's around us mostly.
All right. Well, Patrick, thank you much for your time and your input. I know I certainly appreciate it, as will everybody else, and good luck.
Yeah, thanks, Noah.
Number 18, Patrick Coluccio. Going to be hoping to continue up a decent race streak as of late. So we now go through turns 3 and 4. It's going to be Greg Snellgrove going to be taking Rob Carl taking the lead on this one with Snellgrove on the high side. That bottom lane worked out real well there for Rob Carl last time, so hopefully he can try to use that again to keep to his advantage. As the Iverson.com pace truck continues to roll down pit lane, as we leave the restart zone, it's going to be green flag. Close battle between your two leaders, the 2 and the 22. That was the joke last week at Watkins Glen. Rob was hoping Rob was not going to pull a Brad Keselowski and take out the 22 as Snellgrove on turn number 1 and create a funny event. Did not happen. But finally they're in a position to maybe make something like that happen. As we continue to race here at Charlotte, the Beast of the Southeast, Greg Snellgrove takes away the lead and throws a block on the 2 of Rob Carl. As Tyler Hallahan tries to remain in third position, it's the 41 of Richard Drake up into your top 5. He's currently contending for third with Hallahan. Has not been able to hold on to it yet, though. Currently sticking to that high side, staying in the draft. You can see he has the option to choose the lane, whichever one he wants. He chooses to stay in the draft as much as possible rather than stay just at the high or low side. You can see now that Tyler's beginning to break away. He moves up to the high side, almost into the wall. It's close, and that's the 88 of Tyler Hallahan contending now for second place as we see, wow, that's a lot of speed coming in for some of these guys. Drake still stuck on the high side, not getting anywhere, as now Jeffrey Belk begins to make gains and positions as they roll through. Paul Ems there leading the way for that charge, being as competitive as can be. I almost say that like it's a bad thing, but it is not. That's a non-playoff driver that is teammates with the 22 and the 88. That is a great sight to see, a teammate willing to help you, potentially, keep that big in mind, potentially, get some free positions and some free defense, wiggling his way to the outside. It's going to be Paul Ems contending now for second place, holding up the 2 of Rob Carl, forcing him down on the bottom. His tires are going to get eaten up, and with how his pit strategy has currently been looking, that is not going to be helping him. He might be banking on a later pit stop this run. Stage will be on lap number 50, and that is a long way to go on those tires. Looking at some of our tire data that we were able to get earlier on this week, it looks like after a roughly 35-lap run, you're going to be looking at 25% on your tires in terms of the front right. So that is a huge deficit, losing 75% of your tire grip. Absolute, not tire grip, but your tire wear. That's huge. Almost into the wall there for the 22 of Snellgrove. We see Brian Fradian starting to make a good dodge forward. It is the Victos number 81 Toyota Camry. Finished second place last week at Watkins Glen. Was disappointed in the result. He knew he could have done better. Just was not there, and that is unfortunate for him. So hopefully he can continue to contend for some high placing positions and potentially wins coming up shortly, as we're going to be into our championship round very shortly. Down to the bottom he goes, getting around the 22. Teammate there, the 39 of Brandon Fiedler, the both Wisconsinites there in the 81 and the 39 on the move, both for Equipment Geek Racing. These two have nearly locked out the championship with the help of Jeffrey Belk and Cody Snyder. I mean, they have been on the move and almost completely secured the team championship. Down the backstretch they go. Paul Ems continues to lead here at Charlotte. It's going to be Jeffrey Belk, though, contending for that lead, remaining in second position. You can see that gap between these two. These two have figured something out. That is the biggest thing I have to say there. These two have something else here that they know, as they're able to remain in first and second place with a huge over 1 second gap, as they're still side by side for the lead. Very, very impressive out of these two drivers. We've seen great things out of them before. Looking down to the bottom, that is going to be the 55 of Belk. What can he do? Almost into the quarter panel. Ems holds on to it, though, as he's able to remain on the outside and gets another lap led over Jeffrey Belk. Can he hold on to it for long, though? We know that bottom lane is faster. He's going to be taking it. How long will Jeff be able to block, though? That's the other question now that he's into the lead. If you like that paint that Jeff is running, along with several other drivers that have WEAG design paints, check out WEAG Designs. You can find them on Instagram over at WEAG_designs. Belk still holds on to the lead over Ems. Keep in mind that Paul Ems is not in the playoffs anymore, but that doesn't matter. Who cares? He's going to want the win. More than anything, we think back to last season in real NASCAR at Martinsville. Alex Bowman not in the playoffs. I believe Denny Hamlin's still... Yeah, Denny Hamlin's still in the playoffs. Took Denny out for the win. Does not matter. Winning is everything here in motorsport racing. It doesn't matter how you have to get it done, especially in stock car racing. See, M's still trying to chase down Belk, but it's not quite going his way, I think, the way he wants. Brandon Fiedler currently sitting right now in third position, able to stay ahead of his teammate Brian Fradian, and them both ahead of Hallahan in the 88. I think we're finally beginning to see a little bit of spacing out between your drivers. Nobody quite is bunched up anymore, but it's still going to be close. Current battle for 7th position between Richard Drake and Rob Carl. These two side by side. Drake has a strong control of that bottom lane as he's going to continue to try to get by Rob Carl. These two, I believe, on similar strategies as well, and it appears similar damage as well. front left damage there for Drake. He's letting off a bit on the bottom to stay in the draft. Almost, oh, into the wall there for the 41. Not going to be helping him out any, and as he's now trapped down in 8th. Patrick Aluccio just passed Matt Malavagna there for 11th position. But keep in mind that Matt was up contending for 4th way earlier on. A struggle this track can be under long runs for certain drivers, and I do not blame him one bit. It is a tricky thing to master. Hopping back up towards your leaders once again, we're seeing a good dive there out of Paul Ems, trying to contend for the lead again with Jeffrey Belk, but just doesn't have it in him quite yet. Maybe he can try to build up a draft and get somewhere soon. I know that the last Charlotte race that Jeffrey Belk run was the Coke 600 on iRacing, so I'm sure that does help. Goes down to the bottom there. That's a very interesting choice rather than staying in the draft. Maybe trying to free up a little bit of engine air for the 28 Valvoline Chevrolet. Wow, way faster to turns 3 and 4. Look at the gap he was able to close. Almost to the bumper there of Belk as he looks down to the bottom, doesn't take it. Struggles a lot right now on those high lines when it comes through 1 and 2, but it looks like he really does have 3 and 4 just figured out right now. As I said before, these two just have this track something else with it. They just understand it way different right now. Don't know how they managed to do it. Wait for this run we're going to see out of the 28. I think he's starting to build it up. Rides to the bottom. Look at that. Moves out to the high side. He closes in just that bit. You can see that gap dropping on the left-hand side of your screen. It's just not enough quite yet. He's trying to work that bottom and really get some moves done. He's just not there yet. But currently riding that bottom through 1 and 2 clearly has helped a lot as he builds down through the draft. In the backstretch, what can he do as we enter turn 3? Still nothing yet. We'll check back in with these guys a bit later, as we're going to hop down a little bit later into our field and see... I say that, though. No, we're not, as Paul Ems looks to the bottom. Can he take the bottom away from Belk here throughout this turn? He's close. Oh, loses the pace through the bottom. Doesn't have the tire to do it. I want to keep hyping up and building this tension up, but it's just difficult when the tires just aren't allowing it quite yet. We'll come back to that in a bit. Bit of a group here. Richard Drake able to fight for the position and get 8th away from Brady Floyd, who was, remember, Brady Floyd was sitting on pole earlier in this race. Currently stuck down in 9th position. Bit of a street struggle right now between your 2 and the 41. It's all about figuring out the right line and where to draft and how, as we're going to hop back up to your leaders once again. Almost just in time. Ems is close, and I think Belk knows that he's going to throw the blocks wherever he can to keep him at bay. Looks down to the bottom across the line. He's almost there. Can Paul Ems take away the lead? He's close. Side by side as they roll through turn number 1. I think that bottom just is not fast enough anymore. Doesn't have it. He's right there behind him, though. Do not lose that perspective. 28 of Paul Ems is going to do anything he can to try to steal away that lead. Potentially even try to get his first win of the season if he has the ability to keep it up throughout the race. Oh, so close. Tied across the line. He had it there just for a second. Now, the next question we have to ask is fuel. What are these guys going to look like in terms of fuel? And we can actually check out something like that right now. So we head over to our extensions and see our driver stints. You can see there, out of your top 10, these two are running on the same strategy. That is going to be allowing them to remain competitive as they roll forward, as they should have enough fuel to make it to the end. It's going to be a very close bet, though, between Richard Drake and Rob Carl if they can make it to the end. Everybody else looks like they are definitely going to be making it. Uh-oh. Looks like we're having some connection issues with Cody Snyder in the 4. He's not able to make last race due to, yep, oh boy, he is not having a good time. I know on your left-hand side of the screen where you get to see all that driver information, it does not update as fast or as frequently. You can see him popping in and out there. But on my side where I can see colors and stuff for it too, it is not good. Excessive blinking is a penalty you can receive here in the CASCAR Short Plumbing Cup Series, so hopefully he gets that figured out and soon. As Paul Ems is able to take away the lead from Jeffrey Belk for a moment, can't hold on to it. Hallahan takes away 4th position, though, from Fiedler for the moment. Fiedler takes it back. As Brian Fredienne has locked out 3rd position. Quite a bit further ahead, too. So he's chasing out Paul Ems now. Look at that. Now it's going to be a battle for the lead between your top 3. Ems moves down to the bottom. Fredienne going to help his teammate. Still not enough. Paul has to really think of something different to try to change this up. Maybe if he can try to force Jeff on the low line, it might change up something. Or he's going to continue to side draft. That is also a good idea, trying to make this as difficult as possible for it. Your leader does not want to let him get away. But with Fredienne here, that is going to be making this defense a lot easier for Jeffrey Bell compared to Paul Ems, who has to now get around 2 teammates. See him backing off there, trying to figure out a new plan, as it's just not viable. Be pushing Brian. There he goes. Pushes him down to the bottom. Is that going to be Brian Fredienne taking away the lead? It is! Brian Fredienne takes away the lead from Jeffrey Belk, and that's going to be a first lap lead there for the 81 team, the Victos. Number 81, Brian Fredienne, leads his first lap here at Charlotte here tonight. I can think back, I believe the last win was Watkins Glen last season for Brian Fredienne. No, it was not. It was Pocono. I am very silly. It was Pocono this season. That was his last one. He's actually won twice this season. Do not remember things at all. Paul Ems, though, was able to win iRacing Super Speedway last season, though, and was able to contend for 2nd, I believe, last season at Darlington. Paul's been getting better at road racing, though. We saw that for a bit at Watkins Glen before he did leave. Jeffrey Belk is not going to be giving up that position to Ems anytime soon. Has been holding him back this entire time. Refuses to give him the position. It's becoming comical. Brady Floyd able to get by Richard Drake just that bit, though. You can see it's going to still be a struggle. Drake on the bottom has the position. He's able to steal it away from Floyd once again. It's going to be a battle across the line. Battle for 6th. Floyd across the line gets it. We're going to be ticking down the laps towards your stage. Remember, lap number 50. We're almost there. It's going to be a close one. Hopefully next season, this will be returning to an endurance race once again. Last season, it was the CASCAR World 300. This time it's only the WEAG Designs 150. Hopefully that should be changing. Wow, a lot of speed there out of that 20. Coming down to the bottom. He's going to definitely have that position for sure. Slides up to try to block. Oh, it's close. Able to almost slam the door, but Richard Drake able to swerve out of the way. Almost has it over him. Stays down on the bottom now. Can he get around him once again? This is the point. Greg Snellgrove has to choose. Does he choose to help Floyd or Drake? Chooses to still split the line between them, usually bobbing between Floyd, though. I think he thinks he's a little bit more stable of a car to follow right now. And that really is not a terrible assumption to make, figuring as the recent trends we've seen between these drivers. I mean, the last several races that Brady Floyd has won, and he's won 3 of them. And he's only joined late in the season, too. A lot of speed built up in Brady Floyd, that much is sure, and I think Greg Snellgrove knows that, so he's going to try to stick up there with him. Let's see him now as they begin to pass the 41. Goes down to block. There it is. The 2 and the 22 take over. Oh, it's a side-by-side battle. A little bit of contact between the definite contact between the two. Into the wall for Brady Floyd. as he begins to swerve out of control. He saves it as they go across the line. That's positions lost. Down to 10th for Brady Floyd. Huge drama as Greg Snowgrove has been able to take away 6th from him and steal it away as well from Richard Drake. Wow. I'm so glad we did get to see that. Very incredible to watch, and I have a feeling that Brady Floyd does not appreciate that move. I don't think Drake does either, though, as he's there on the bottom, about to force Greg out of the way. Does not matter one little bit as we hop up to your leader, as it won't be too much longer until we throw the flag for the stage out of turn number 2. Brian Fradian has a definite and assertive lead. He comes now out of turn number 4 to bring us to the last lap of the stage. Completion of this lap will bring out the yellow. Brian Fradian has over a half second ahead. An impressive drive out of Brian. The way he was able to just absolutely come back and really make something out of it. It's something else. As he comes by now to pass Michael Jennings, putting him a lap down. The 86 answered the call. Chevrolet Camaro out of turn number 4. It's going to be the Victos Toyota Camry driven by Brian Fradian across the line to win the stage here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Beast of the Southeast. He's got it. That must be a huge confidence booster, I am sure. He has the speed. He has the talent. What can he do next? That is the question he's going to have to answer here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's not too long that we have between these cautions, as we have very recently found out. The yellows do not last long, so as soon as he heads down into pit road, we'll be making sure we bring him up for a stage win interview. I'm sure his sponsor will be happy with that one as well, and any of his family watching. It's a stage win, even if it's not the race win, it's a stage win well earned. Gives me a good opportunity to thank, of course, WEAG Designs for helping put on this week's event. You can follow them on Instagram over at WEAG_designs. They provide many of the paints of the cars you see here tonight, including your stage winner, the 81 of Brian Fradian. Also sole paint provider, minus Brady Floyd, of the entire Equip Me Geek crew. And of course, got to thank our series and playoff sponsor, Schroeder Plumbing. As he heads down pit road now, we got him selected, and we'll be dragging him up any moment. Good pit stop, too. Brian, it's open the booth. Do you read me?
How you doing, Noah?
I know that, in your opinion, you had a very rough week last week, but you just won the stage here at Charlotte. How do you feel?
Pretty good, actually. I'm actually decently surprised that I was able to run up or make it through the field with Brandon, and then save enough tires to actually catch Jeff and Paul. It definitely didn't hurt that Jeff and Paul were fighting for 30 laps. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what a drive. I had to say that as you're able to fight your way all the way up there. The speed you were able to build up with your teammate Brandon Fiedler is absolutely incredible. How did you manage to do it?
It really just came down to being patient with dealing with cars that had pitted the previous caution and some of them that didn't take tires at all through either of the cautions. Just being patient, and then once we were able to get through that group of cars, just trying to just watch after the tires and go from there.
Okay. Well, that is some very interesting strategy you're going to have to continue to go forward with, as it clearly has allowed you to have a lot of speed. What are you worried about right now with your teammates and some very competitive cars behind you?
Right now, it's more... I'm just worried about getting to the finish. Right now, I just want to make sure that to move on to the group of 4 is the biggest goal. If I can pick up a win today, that'd be great, but I just want to make sure that we bring this thing home in one piece.
All right, that makes a lot of sense to me. So, Brian, thank you much for your time. I certainly do appreciate it. Who do you have to thank for your car here tonight?
I just want to thank the guys at EG, Victos, Nana Poppy, Aunt B, Uncle Cliff, my wife especially, everybody else, or everybody in my life that supports me. It means a lot.
All right, thank you much for your time, Brian, and good luck.
Thank you, Noah.
Number 81, Brian Fradian, the Victos Toyota Camry for Mickey Racing. Absolutely here to put on a great show here tonight. Let's go and bring up quickly Paul Ems in the number 28 to see what he has to say about his current battle he's been in. Paul, step up the booth. Do you read me?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, you were contending for the lead for quite a while, and then you were able to get yourself a podium there in the stage. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling pretty good. That battle with Jeff was a lot of fun. Car tires actually held up a lot better than I was expecting, so I'm going to try to repeat that, but kind of my own worst enemy when it comes to tires sometimes.
Yeah, I think everybody feels that way, especially with how these cars respond with the weight and the banking here at Charlotte. What's your biggest worry right now going forward?
My biggest worry is all the teammates that are around me. I got a little help coming, but I'm going to have to fight off 3 of these guys, so we'll see what we can do.
Looking at the top positions right now, out of the entire top 6, you are the only driver not in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's another thing. I want to race these guys hard. A win's a win, but I'm out of the playoffs, so I'm not gonna take too many chances. But we'll see what we can do.
All right. Well, Paul, thank you much for your time. Who do you have to thank for your car here tonight?
Just shout out to Great White North Racing. We put in quite a bit of practice, and seems to be paying off for me anyway. I don't know how they're doing back there, but that's about it.
All right. Thank you much for your time, Paul, and good luck.
Thanks, buddy.
Number 28, Paul Ems in the Valvoline Chevrolet. Going to be getting things done. Want to move forward. A very impressive drive out of a lot of these guys here tonight. Your next non-playoff drivers are going to be Matt Stewart and Jesse Atkins, who apparently had really good pit stops there after the recovery they were able to make. They're in the 7 and the 00. Hopefully going to be contending soon. It's going to be Matt Malavagna and Cody Snyder, both of which have been very quick here tonight, as we've been able to see in practice and a little bit of the race. Excited to see what these two in the 3 and 4 can do, and it looks like Snyder's internet has been holding up a bit better. Well, starting from the lead, it's going to be on the bottom, the 81 of Brian Fradian, your stage winner. And on the outside, it's going to be Jeffrey Belk in the 55. 5 wins between these two. An impressive feat nonetheless, and I'm sure I'm going to make you happy with that. With that, though, as we head through the quad oval, it is going to be Brian Fradian taking away the green flag as we roll forward. Slow start there out of the 81. You can see M's hoping to get a row! Big slide there out of Jeffrey Belk as he falls through the field. Jeffrey Belk all the way down into the bottom 10. Well, not bottom 10, after 10th position. Great start, though, for Brian Fradian with that, though, and even more so for Brandon Fiedler, fellow Wisconsinite there, sponsored by 921, Mobile DJ, and Schroeder Plumbing, ready to put on a great show here tonight, and I think this is finally his opportunity. I'm sure he's almost grinning ear to ear to be up here as he's getting chased down by his teammate, Brian Fradian. Richard Drake currently on a recovery right now as he sticks up to the high side. Atkinson pushing into the 88 of Hallahan now as we roll through 1 and 2. Look at the speed these guys have as they leave. That is the difference the tires make. Look how fast everything has to go to keep up with these guys. Absolutely incredible. Look at the tire difference there. We see Paul Ems now coming down to the bottom. Can he take it away from the 81? Not quite yet. It is going to be an intense battle continuing now here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Fiedler able to finally lead those laps. I'm sure he's wanted to all night so far as we're here under the lights at Charlotte. It's great to see once again. It's been a while. Teammate of Fradian there right on the rear bumper. These guys all bunched up together. Nobody's going to give each other an inch. That much is sure. See Jesse Atkinson coming up now. We remember him from the Bristol Dirt Race, able to put on a phenomenal show and really start taking away a lot of positions there. We know he's a great dirt car driver, but it looks like he's got Charlotte figured out finally now. Up into the top 5 he is going to be. Can he hold on to it, though, will be the next question. A recovery drive that Jeffrey Belk is on, coming down from 11th now into 7th. Can he continue his trend rolling forward? That will be the question. Richard Drake takes away the bottom there from the 28 of Paul Ems. 41 Kinetic Toyota Camry has been on a great roll so far this race. Can he keep it up, though? That has been the biggest challenge we've seen from Richard Drake these last several races, is getting a consistent finish, as he's almost out of the playoffs. That cut line will be very soon. I believe, actually, after this race, it's when the cut will happen. Don't quote me on that, though. Jesse Atkinson continuing to put a lot of pressure on these guys as we continue to go forward. He is not giving up anything. He does not race often here in the CASCAR Charlotte Building Cup Series, but when he's here, he puts on a great show into Paul Ems there in the 28, and he comes down, takes out Richard Drake. I knew it was going to happen to him eventually, as the caution flies, as he brings up collecting Ems and Malavanya as well. Huge pile up there in turn number 1. An absolutely unfortunate accident for several of these guys, and we'll be right back and get a better look at that. Alright, we come back now. Through the quad oval, Atkinson pushes it really hard there into the 28. He wants that position for sure. He's almost got it. Ems almost saves it, but he comes down a bit too quick. Collects Drake there in the 41. Collects Belk in the 55 up to the high side. Malavanya, I think, tries to slow down 6 up to the high side best he can. Slows down a bit too quick for him, though. As Richard Drake tries to recover, slides back up to the track, absolutely obliterates the 4 of Cody Snyder. So slide across the track. It looks like heavy braking there out of the 18. Wow, lets him avoid the 4. 22, though, of Snellgrove collects the 4. It's M still around as Belk there on the bottom. Carl, yep. Snellgrove just able to get by. LaPierre collects into the 4 as well. Jennings stays up to the high side. Very heavy on the brakes there for the 66. It looks like Ashton Riki was able to slow down just enough in time, but it looks like the 42, Michael Sparks, way too fast into the wall. Wow. What a accident for so many guys here tonight. I'm sure many of them are very disappointed to be involved in that wreck. I mean, that is a big one if I've ever seen one here recently. That is a lot of cars all involved at once. So, a lot happening there, and I'm sure a lot of disappointed cars here tonight, as I did say. It all caused from a little bit of a collision between Atkinson and Ems. Jesse Atkinson currently sitting in 9th position after that one. Wow! Alright. A lot of cars heading down pit road. Let's go and bring up that pit road information once again. Took that down just a minute ago. Going to be putting Matt Stewart to the lead. Okay. See him there in the 7. As Sylvan Seguin rises up to 2nd place. As I said earlier on in the show, a bit weird to see Sylvan there running in the Tim Hortons Toyota. He's been this season running in Chevrolet, as that's what his team, Cyclone Racing, with it's Blake Hensley and Stephen Black. They've been Chevrolet this season, so interesting to see them in Toyota. But there's Ashton Riki in his 2nd race as of late, coming up now into 3rd. How long is he going to be able to hold on to that will become the next question. Matt Malavani currently sitting in 4th, a familiar position, I'm sure. He's got his team boss, Michael Jennings, right there behind him, the 86. Now, this is something I need to make sure I bring up again. Michael Jennings currently sitting with a Chevrolet. that has answered the call on it. It is a recruitment thing for volunteer firefighter departments across New York State. The 23rd and 24th of April, they want to make sure that anybody that is interested can come out to just about any single local volunteer firefighter department and get themselves recruited, or even just find out more about them. And it's going to be a big thing there between those 2 days. That is the 23rd of April and the 24th of April. And you can find out more, as they need a lot more recruitment, and volunteer firefighting is a very important thing, especially in New York State as well as any others. So answer the call. Check them out. Matt Stewart's going to be bringing us to the green flag this lap in the 7. He's going to have Sylvan Seguin alongside. This might be a good chance for Matt Stewart to really prove himself as a driver. It's been a while since he has been up towards the front this race, but he's finally got it, and really some clean air too. I'd say the current most competitive car behind him, Matt Malavagna, is currently sitting a row back in the outside lane. So he's got to fight through some cars to get up there, and then Snellgrove, Ems, Drake, and all the rest are even further back. Big gap for a lot of these cars to make up, though. Belk sitting right now in 15th. Remember, he was leading this race way earlier on. Fradian, also who was leading this race, same with Fiedler, another leader, 11th and 12th. Big recovery these guys are all going to have to make to really put on a good show for the lead. With that, though, the Iverson.com pace truck heads down pit lane as we roll through the quad oval. It's going to be Matt Stewart taking away. Green flag. There it is. Good start. Look at that start. I mean, absolute. Okay. Michael Jennings completely obliterates himself and almost takes out Paul Ems as well. No caution flies as they're 3 wide. Sylvan Seguin, don't know where his pace is. Completely gone as now that's Matt Malavagna. Okay, caution flies. And Malavagna got himself out into second before the caution flew. We'll be right back and see what happened. We rejoin. Following along with the 86 of Michael Jennings there. You can see him now. Ems looks down to the bottom, and I think Jennings maybe just didn't see him as he goes down to the bottom too. Ems just cuts the track there as he's already off. Doesn't matter much. As he comes back up there. Hopefully he did not get in a pit lane penalty there. Very close to taking out some of the other drivers there, but he slows down enough to make sure he doesn't. Before he rejoins back out to the track surface, Brady Floyd fights to get around him. And that's your yellow, I think. Yeah, no other big accident there. Weird. All right. Well, that's your incident. So, Michael Jennings. But Matt Stewart's going to be the leader off this one, with Ashton Regie actually going to be in second place and Matt Malavagna behind in third. Snellgrove able to get up to fourth, though, so that's going to be not making this start any easier between those guys. As we all know that Greg Snellgrove he's currently the highest placed playoff driver, and he's right at the tail end of the playoff field in terms of points, is going to be contending very hard to get back up there. As that's going to be Rob Carl getting a lap back. Well, we got a little bit of time. Let's go and grab... Oh, who do we grab tonight? Let's grab Matt Malavagna and see how he's doing. Matt, open the booth. Do you read me? Awesome. You're currently sitting in third position with your number 3. How does it feel? I understand. We saw earlier on in this race, you were able to contend for fourth and third for a very long time before, I believe, a yellow came out and you got shuffled back to the rear. I mean, are you excited? Absolutely. Well, oh man, we had an audio issue. So to quickly recap that, Dad's birthday, we want to make sure that you have a great run here tonight. And Matt, we can only wish you the best of luck. You've had a competitive race so far here tonight, and we wish you the best. So who do you have to thank for your car here tonight?
First, I got to thank Michael Jennings and Jennings Esports for allowing me to drive this number 3 machine. Thank you to Race for sponsoring the car. Thank you, Noah, for broadcasting. And I want to thank my family and friends, especially my father, for supporting me through this online racing career of mine that's been going on for 17 years. And I'm just trying to get back to my old glory.
All right. Well, thank you much for your time, Matt. I know I certainly appreciate it, and good luck.
Thank you, bud.
Number 3, Matt Malavagna, going to be starting there. Apologies for the audio issue. Do have that resolved. But yes, it's his dad's birthday. Wants to put on a good show for him. Can't blame him. 17 years, though. It's been racing. Absolutely incredible. Now, one thing that I definitely did see on that car that we have not thanked so far at this race, that is going to be Pierce Graphics. They put together our fantastic overlay package you get to see each and every single week here on twitch.tv/4cloak. So, of course, thank you to them. You can find out more through them on my website. That is going to be www.4cloak.net. You can check out there and find out more for your overlay and media needs. Greg Snowgrove going to be starting in 4th, though, alongside in that 2nd row. Lights on the pace car, based on how these guys are driving, are going to be going out very shortly. And we're going to be in for one heck of a race there towards the end. 30, I think across the line it's going to be 30 laps we're going to have to go. When it goes green. Everybody should be able to make it on fuel, but it will be a bit close for some of these guys depending on how they drive. 37 laps, I believe, was the push when there was no yellows, if I understand correctly. So, figuring as not a lot of cars went into the pit lane this time, as track position is very important here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're going to be in for a very interesting race. Remember that last week Jeffrey Belk won the race on fuel strategy, completely clutching in down the backstretch and through the outer loop, and throughout lots of the other track, to be honest, as well, to win the race with 0.1 gallons left in his fuel tank. Enough to just spin the tires once on the front stretch. Well, here we are at the WEAG Designs 150. If you want your fantastic iRacing paints or other media or just about anything you could ever think of, really, go ahead and check out them. That is going to be at their Instagram, WEAG_designs. They bring to you many of the paints you see out in the field, including all of the Equipment Geek cars. And a few other special ones as well. Kyle Mundell, another driver that runs WEAG Design Paints, not here tonight, unfortunately. Heading down the pit lane, the iRacing.com pace truck goes as Matt Stewart brings us to the green flag. Now, there we go. Green flag and away we go. Matt Stewart takes it away. 30 laps we have to go. Matt Malavagna all the way up into 2nd already. I knew he was going to do it. Oh, can Sparks save it? Doesn't look like it. Oh, wrecking behind. Oh, we're going to be in for one night, aren't we? Uh-oh. Looks like a few guys that already taken a potentially might have taken a fast repair or have been involved in that one. So we're going to rewind and take a look at that, and we'll be right back. Alright, we got a closer look here. Following along with the 42, Michael Sparks. Looks like he slides up a bit, then goes back down. Atkinson not really sure what to do. Collects into his left rear. Sends them up. Floyd accidentally turns Belk with that one. Belk collides into Sparks again. They slide up, take out the 07, who I believe already had taken a fast repair. LaPierre involved in as well. Does Snyder escape? Oh, just barely. And then Atkinson gets killed a little bit more there, as Paul Ems also takes some damage on the bottom. Floyd involved again. Unfortunate for so many of these guys here tonight, and I'm sure that is not going to be putting a positive spin on several of the races here tonight, especially with some of your more competitive drivers. Head down to pit lane. We could see Atkinson, I believe, had to tow, as did Michael Sparks. Unfortunate for so many of them. Yikes. Okay. Rob Carl, I think, involved in as well. I didn't see him, but I believe it. LaPierre with potentially the least damage out of that one in that close group, so he's going to be getting through as well. Malavagna still sitting pretty in second after that one. He's finally got it. Stewart been able to lead these laps ever since. This is a good chance for him to continue just rocking out these leading laps. Exactly what he needs to remain competitive going forward and fuel up for the between the 81 and the 39, Brandon Fiedler and Brian Freddy, and the 2 BFs. Easy to mix up their names, I won't lie. All right. Well, who do we bring up now? That is the next question. Let's go bring up your 5th place, Greg Snellgrove in the 22. Let's see what his thoughts are and how he's doing here tonight. Greg is still with the booth. Do you read me?
Yeah, how you doing?
Currently sitting in 5th place. You've had a very interesting race so far. Tell me about it.
Oh, I've been all over the board, man. Up and down. It's been crazy. I'm just trying to hold on and hopefully get a good finish out of this.
Makes a lot of sense to me. You've had a, I know your practice was not looking too great, nor was your qualifying, but you finally got yourself a bit of a groove. We were able to see that before the stage.
Yeah, I'm just learning how to work the draft. I've never had really good qualifying times, really at these 1.5 miles. But I learned it's all in the long run with the tire saving, so that's what I'm trying to do, is just not burn my tires up and be there for the end.
Makes a lot of sense to me. What's going to be your strategy other than just, trying to save the tires going forward?
I got to get ahead of these guys in front of me. I think 3 of them, if not 2 of them, definitely got damaged. So I'm hoping to just get by them as fast as I can. I just got fresh tires and I want to be able to check out here.
Makes a lot of sense to me. Well, who do you have to think for your car here tonight?
The Wildcards paintball team. We're getting ready to go playing here soon. I'm hoping to get out there one of these weekends to play.
All right. Well, Greg, thank you much for your time. I certainly do appreciate it, and good luck here tonight.
Thank you, Noah.
Number 22, Greg Snellgrove in the Wildcard Chevrolet. Got a bit more time. Who else do we grab? Yeah, I know, Kyle. I know. It's late. It's as of late that they've been going more under yellow. I think these starts are a bit hard for some of these guys that got shuffled towards the front. Matt Stewart. All right, we'll grab him. See how he's doing. Matt, open the booth. Do you read me?
Hey, what's up, Noah?
Well, you've been able to lead this race, even if it's been under yellow, for the last while. How does that feel?
It feels good just to be in front of the mayhem. I like the track position.
Makes a lot of sense to me. You've got a bit of a fan right now of Kyle Mundell out in the chat.
Oh, hey, what's up, Kyle? I'll try and bring it home for you.
Well, it's been good to see you out in the front. I know it's been a little while since you've been up here. What's your biggest worry right now?
Well, before this last caution, I didn't know if I was going to make it on gas, but I think we're good on gas now. I think some guys have some fresher tires than me, so we'll see if I can hold them off.
All right. Well, thank you much for your time, Matt. I certainly do appreciate it. Who do you have to say to the audience or thank?
Thanks, Kyle, for cheering me on, and thanks, everyone, for watching. I'll try and bring it home.
All right. Good luck, Matt. Certainly do appreciate it, and you're definitely going to need it.
Thank you.
7 of Matt Stewart. Going to be trying his best to, as you said, bring it home. Thanks for the offer, Kyle. I certainly do appreciate it. I think we're going to be good for now. You got to plan those things a little bit more ahead of time. So sometimes you can throw it impromptu, but other times not. Yeah. Anyway, now as we roll through turn number 3, the 7 and the 3 going to be battling it out for the lead off of the start. Matt Malavagna, as we know, has a decent car here tonight, but so does Matt Stewart. The battle of the Matts going to be taking it away into turn number 1 after the pace car rolls down pit lane. Don't count out Greg Snellgrove, though, who's going to be contending for getting up front real fast. That much is for sure. A lot of action you certainly did miss, Kyle, as the Icon pace car heads down pit lane. We exit the restart zone, and it's going to be a green flag. Look at the launch there out of Matt Malavagna. Absolutely a fantastic start there. Don't count out Matt Stewart, though. He's got that bottom lane. Uh-oh. Bad start there for Sylvan Sugan as Greg Snellgrove moves up to the high line. High line. There we go. Stewart's got that bottom lane. He's definitely on the move. Ashton Reekie blocks that inside lane. He's not going to be letting it go easily. Snellgrove dives down straight to the bottom. Tried to take that away. Malavagna is still up in second. Oh, into the Reekie, into the wall. He's going to be falling back as they're 3 wide towards the rear there. Hopefully they can hold it together. It is a close one. I know that Ashton Reekie said earlier on in this race he does not like being up on the high side. Uh-oh. Looks like Belk had to cut through the grass there. I think he was a bit intimidated and got forced down there just for a bit. It's going to be a close run here towards the end of this race. Brady Floyd, who was sitting on pole, has managed to claw his way all the way back up into 4th position. A massive roll he has been on. Let's see if he can keep it up now as he begins to chase down Greg Snellgrove as Richard Drake tries his best to get up there. 2 non-playoff drivers currently fighting for the lead. Malavagna right on the rear Stewart. What can these guys do as they roll out of turn number 2 now before heading down the backstretch? A great show we've been able to see for a lot of these guys here tonight. Finally, we're able to have some green flag laps roll once again. Thank you to everyone that's been able to tune in. And, of course, thank you to all of our sponsors out there from Pierce Graphics, Shorter Plumbing, and WEAG Designs for this week. Stewart continuing to leading now into turn number 1. Snellgrove and Floyd catching to your leaders. We see Floyd there on the bottom, not going to be letting Snellgrove take it away easily. He's got it. He's got that bottom lane. Richard Drake sticks it with him. Not going to be letting this happen easily for anybody. Remember that Richard Drake and Greg Snellgrove are basically at the bottom in terms of playoff points. They have a lot of work to do to get out of that deficit, so they really do need to be on the move, and they're right there. Floyd now up into your top 3, still trying to chase down your leaders. Malavagna right there on the bottom of Matt Stewart. Can he take it away soon? That will be the question, and can he get some laps led? That's going to be the question here tonight at Charlotte as we begin to round out these last couple of laps. Still on the bottom for the 3 Raise Energy Chevrolet as he comes down now through the quad oval. Who can get it across the line? It's still going to be Stewart ahead. But don't count out that bottom lane. We know it can be quick. Remember, there's not an infinite amount of laps left. Those tires are, well, important to save, not the most important anymore. Into the lead, Matt Malavagna as he throws a block onto Stewart. Brady Floyd now coming down into the bottom in the Ford Mustang. What kind of moves can Brady make? We know he's been able to have a lot of speed built up into that Ford Mustang. Can he get a 4th win as a non-playoff driver here tonight? Or can it even be a non-playoff 1-2-3 as Matt Malavagna gets his first lap led of the night? Side by side, this for second place, it's going to be the 20 and the 7 as the 41 of Richard Drake and the 22 of Snellgrove continue to battle it out to round out your top 5. As they battle for second, it is allowing Malavagna to break away just that little bit. Brady Floyd takes away the bottom, throws a huge block up into the 7, into the wall for Matt Stewart. All right, there's Greg Snellgrove there on the 22 on the bottom, trying to make his moves as best he can. Brandon Fiedler now comes to join the battle. He's got a lot of speed built up in that Toyota Camry from Schroeder Plumbing. What kind of chaos can he cause tonight? His last win was a while back, honestly. And I think he is ready to finally get back up there into the winner's circle tonight. He's getting boxed in, though. He doesn't have a lot of places to go, but he's going to try to claw his way up to the front the best he can. Brady Floyd there on the inside of Malavagna. Can Malavagna hold on to it for long? That's the question, as we see Floyd still on the bottom, not letting this go easily. He's still got it. There he is, coming up now. Can he hold on to it as we go into the quad oval off the exit of 4? Still Malavagna. It will be a close one. non-playoff for first and second, as Richard Drake has been able to cut his way now into third position, as Fiedler able to also be on the move. Drake coming now to try to make it 3 wide for the lead, as Brady Floyd has taken it away. Richard Drake and Brandon Fiedler coming in to make it interesting as they rocket by the 3. Drake now in a second, Fiedler in third. Snellgrove trying to pass, now for fourth. He's got it, he's taking it away fourth. As now it's going to be Brian Fradian chasing down to get into fourth position. Your top 3, Floyd, Drake, and Fiedler. Richard Drake has the bottom lane as he chases down Brady Floyd the best he can, trying to get to the front. Can Brady Floyd continue to make this a championship upset by remaining to be in the front? Can Brandon Fiedler get himself a win? These are the questions we have to ask here tonight at Charlotte, the Beast of the Southeast. We're going to hop along with Greg Snellgrove and see what it's like to drive around here at this 1.5 mile Motor Speedway. 24 degrees of banking here at this track. We get to see what that looks like now as we round through the quad oval. 5 degrees is what that is right there. 24 now. Absolutely just climbing a wall as Fiedler battles for second. Absolutely have to wheel the car, stay in draft. These guys are absolutely moving. Brian Fradian now coming up to the outside of Snellgrove. There he is. He's starting to begin to make his charge forward. We know that Brian can do it as he's done it before. A good run out of Fradian here could be the difference for a lot of these guys in terms of points, as now it's going to be Brandon Fiedler. He's stolen away third from Richard Drake. Throws the block. It's going to be Brady Floyd continuing to lead as of now as we cross the line. 11 laps to go. Drake has the bottom, though. This is the battle for your top 5. This will be a continued close race, and there is a lot of championship things on the line here tonight. Can Snellgrove get up into your top 3 and be the difference between winning or losing this next round of the playoffs? And if he wins it, he's almost locked into the end. Floyd continues to run away. He's been having an advantage of your second place battling for position. Malavagna currently sitting in 6th position, getting chased down by Tyler Hallahan, who now looks to the bottom. Rob Carl not far behind. Hallahan going to take it away. Drake able to remain in second. He's been able to hold up your 2 Equipment Geek drivers. That is the 39 and the 81 from getting them through. Does not want to let them have it at all. Honestly, I think they're going to have to work together to get there, as it's going to be a close run all the way to the end. Fradian now in third. He's got that podium position. Can he force it up to the lead? This is the point where the tires, I think, are beginning to really give out now. Heading back a little bit through your field, we're currently seeing a decent battle right now for 6th position. Malavagna and Hallahan side by side for 6th. Malavagna currently ahead for the moment, but he can hold on to it as he stays up on that higher line. Remember, he was able to lead laps earlier on, so I don't think he's going to be forgetting that anytime soon. On the bottom, it's Hallahan. He's still right there, but does not have the position yet. Checking back up with your leaders. Right now, it's been Richard Drake able to close in to the 20 of Brady Floyd in front. He is right there on his bumper. Watching from the rear view here of Brady Floyd, we can see just how close that 41 is. As they head down through the backstretch now, it really does show. I mean, these guys are nearly at 200 miles per hour. As they come down through 3 and 4, you can see it will be a continued close one. Lap by lap, we're seeing Richard Drake get closer. Go and take a look at our battle forecast. Supposedly within 2 laps, with a very difficult overtake, it's going to be for Richard Drake. Can he get the win? It's going to be a close one. But based on that information, we're expecting 2 laps. So, into the wall for Richard Drake, and it's going to be Brian Fradian stealing away second from Drake. Now the question becomes, can Fradian close it into Drake ahead? As Greg Snowgrove is stuck down in 5th. A half-second deficit he has to make up within just under half a second. Drake, nearly a second he has to make up to the leader. Only a catastrophic mistake, I can only imagine, will be the difference between Brady Floyd winning or losing. Brady Floyd, in his last 5 starts, I believe it will be, if he wins tonight, will be 4 wins. I think, because he missed Watkins Glen, so it doesn't count as a start. It is an incredible feat, what he's been able to do. The speed he has built up in that car, I don't understand it. He's got a lot of pace built up there, but as we can see, Brian Fradian has been able to close in continuously now. 2 laps to go across the line. Can Brian Fradian do it? Can he win this race? It will be a close one. He needs to get a little bit closer for the draft to come into effect. Once again, I have to give a huge thank you to everyone that has tuned in to our stream here tonight. We've had a fantastic race. Of course, got to give another huge thank you to WEAG Designs, Schroeder Plumbing, and Pierce Graphics as we cross the line to bring out the white flag. It's continuing to be a close one. Now within 0.3 of a second, can Brian Fradian get it? He's got the draft. As we head down the backstretch here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the 5 degrees of banking at the beast of the Southeast. Since 1960, Charlotte Motor Speedway has been putting on fantastic racing, and that continues today here in the CASCAR Schroeder Plumbing Cup Series. Now, as we round turn number 4, and I believe it's official, Brady Floyd is going to come across the line and win here at the WEAG Designs 150 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 4 wins for Brady Floyd. 4. And keep in mind, he's only raced out of the last 6 races, he's only raced in 5, and he's won 4 of them. An absolutely incredible feat out of the 20, and an amazing performance out of Brian Fradian, and Richard Drake able to secure a 3rd position. Absolutely incredible. I don't think I can say that enough. Not sure what Wes Gallo's doing there. That's okay. Hopefully next time we race, 2 weeks, it'll be as we have an off week for Easter. Brady will have his new paint coming in. And with 4 win stickers. A great win for the ForCloak.net and Pierce Graphics teams. I'm sure they are very happy with that as Brady Floyd celebrates his 4th win of the CASCAR Schroeder Plumbing Cup Series. Your top 5: Floyd, Fradian, Drake, Fiedler, and Snellgrove. Richard Drake will be the driver that gets interviewed first if he's here. I know it usually takes him a minute to get here. But, wow, absolutely incredible. Let's go ahead and I'm not seeing him, so let's go ahead and bring up your second place finisher. That is going to be the second place of Brian Fradian. Oh, there he is. Never mind. Richard Drake, he's here. Richard, it's Noah up in the booth. Do you read me?
I read you, Noah. Do you read me now?
I gotcha. Third place you've been able to get. You've had a very, very rough last couple of races. How does it feel to finally be up here?
Yeah, it's. I was so close to striking distance there. To be honest, I'm still a little more frustrated than I should be with the third, because ultimately that is a pretty good finish. But especially toward the end of the season, you want those wins for that automatic advance. So disappointing in a sense, but you're right. Given the season we've had, I've been so busy this year with a lot of stuff going on. I really haven't been able to put in the practice time I had hoped for. So given that, really, all things considered, to still be in the playoffs, I'm pretty grateful for that.
Makes a lot of sense to me, but a great performance you had here tonight at Charlotte. What's your secret? I mean, the amount of pace you had built up in that Toyota Camry is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I was doing everything I could to save my tires. I figured really the speed I was focusing on was not so much on a lap-to-lap basis, but rather on a stretch of the runs that we were doing. And I did the entire first stint on the first set of tires to ensure I could get the fresh ones at that lap 63 caution, and then also have another set if we had something later. So tires and long run pace were my game, which is hard to do sometimes because it's so easy to just think about the individual lap times.
Absolutely. And I mean, especially so here at Charlotte. I mean, even for a 1.5 mile track, I mean, your tires get absolutely obliterated here, especially in some of the lines.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, hey, you know it yourself. I'm a short track guy at my course, so dealing with aero or any of this stuff is really quite a novel experience for me. So definitely a way different form of racing.
All right. Well, Richard, thank you much for your time. Who do you have to thank for your race car here tonight?
Yeah, big thanks to Pat Healy of the Laker News, Kobe's Auto Recyclers, and my dad, Ken of Kinetic Racing. And thank you, Noah Forkloak, for putting on this stream for everybody. We really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you much for your time, Richard, once again, and congratulations on the podium finish.
Have a good one, Noah.
The number 41 of Richard Drake able to finish finally in the podium once again. It's been a while since he's been able to do it, and I'm sure he is very happy to finally be up there once again. Thank you for the cheer, Jesse. And yes, Glenda, of course, able to finally race here. And I know you had a rough race, so don't worry, we'll chat afterwards. Anyway, Brian Fradian, let's go and grab him. He's able to finish in second place here tonight. Brian, something about the read me.
I do.
Well, you sound in better spirits tonight after this second.
Yeah, it's different expectations lead to different outcomes.
Absolutely understood. But a great race you had here tonight.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was unfortunate for Jeff and Wes that they were tied up in unfortunate circumstances, but I'm really proud of Brady, Brandon, and I for pulling out 3 of the top 4 spots.
Absolutely. I mean, the pace that, especially you, Brandon, and Brady, the pace you guys had, absolutely incredible. I don't know how you guys have managed to do it.
I don't necessarily know either. But it was a lot of fun, and it was just there was definitely tire fall off, but it was very represented in lap time and not feel. So like you could be consistent with your lifting points and a light break into 3, and it's just the same thing over the entire run.
Okay. I'm sure that definitely makes a very big difference, especially with how racing at 1.5 miles like these have to be.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I just felt really good the whole night, and I'm happy to walk away with a second place.
Makes a lot of sense to me. Who do you have to thank for your great race car here tonight?
Same people as at the stage. Victos, EGR, my grandparents, family members. I mean, it really does honestly mean the world to me. And of course you and the Brandon's, the Shorter Plumbing for sponsoring the series.
All right. Brian, thank you much for your time. I certainly do appreciate it, and congratulations on the second place finish, and I'm glad you're in better spirits for it.
Yeah, I am too.
Number 81, Brandon Feet. Nope. Brian Fradian. Every time. Every time. It's a common joke between all those guys. Still, Brian Fradian able to secure himself a second place. Absolutely incredible. A great drive. Let's go and bring up your race winner, the number 20, Brady Floyd. Brady, do you know it's Noah? Do you read me up the booth?
Yes, sir. Got a copy.
4 wins you have this season, and you have raced out of the last 6 in 5 of them.
Did you just have a stroke, or am I having a stroke? What did you just say?
Yes. Yes, I'm having a stroke at this point.
All right, good.
Out of the last several races, you've won 4 of them.
And raced in 5 out of 6. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay, now I understand.
Okay.
Yeah. Happy to be up here. I mean, the 5 races I've attended, it's first, second. So, definitely really pleased. I don't really know where this is coming from. I don't feel like I don't even think I'm the best one here. I just keep getting lucky. I mean, there were a lot of fast cars that got caught up in incidents tonight at the wrong time, and it sent them back through traffic. I was getting really lucky on the restarts, except for times when I would get wrecked on the restarts. But I mean, once I took the fast repair, everything kind of just worked its way out for me. We had a couple guys on old tires, and then I guess I was just the first one to get to them and first one to get past them, and then just fending off Richard as much as I could. I kind of led him into the wall on accident, but honestly, I had such great battles with everybody all night. Only one guy I could think of that I really have any frustrations with after, but I mean, just super thankful to be here again. So,
what would you say was your best battle of the night?
The battle with Richard under green, not the last run. I don't really know what it was, but I guess it was probably coming to the stage before I got put into the wall. 41 and I, we were talking in the waiting room, and it was just we would battle, and then we'd catch a car and we'd snake through them or whatever, and then after the car was moved out of the way, we'd start battling again, and we couldn't really lose each other for like 20. It felt like 20-30 laps. I don't know how long it actually was, but that was probably the best battle I've had all season, maybe ever in CASCAR. So that was so much fun.
Good. Well, that's one of the great things is we like to all have a good time, and those fantastic battles are things we love to watch and see. So I'm glad that we've been able to put on a great show, not just for our drivers but for our audience, of course, as well.
Yeah, I hope you guys could catch that on the broadcast. That was I know it wasn't for the lead, but it was really entertaining, at least from my perspective.
All right. Well, Brady, thank you much for your time. Who do you have to thank for your race car here tonight?
Definitely got to thank the sponsors, 4Cloak Media. You can find them at twitch.tv/4Cloak. Oh wait, you're already here, or 4Cloak.net. Adra Esports, and then Pierce Graphics as well. Got to thank the team, everybody that was in there. Brian, Brandon, Jeff, Wes, Cody, Jesse joined us this race. I know we missed Billy Cloud for this one, but yeah, looking forward to Iowa. I really like Iowa. I think I will be fast there, but I think we have some really good short track guys here. Like I'd watch out for Steven if he shows up, or Rob maybe. So I don't think I'll keep the top 2 streak going, but I definitely think I'll be in contention there.
All right. Thank you once again for your time, Brady. I certainly do appreciate it, and congratulations on the race win.
Thank you.
Number 20, Brady Floyd, able to secure his 4th win of the season in only racing the last few. Absolutely incredible. Oh, goodness. Good to see you out in the chat, Brandon. Apologies. But still, absolutely incredible out of everybody here. I mean, just insane. Absolutely insane. The performance that we've been able to see out of a lot of these guys, especially recently, I mean, just so fast, and I think we're in for a very, very good finish to the season this time around here in the CASCAR Short Plumbing Cup Series. So With that, I have to give a huge thank you over to our sponsors, of course, Pierce Graphics, who gives us our fantastic overlay package every single week you see here in the CASCAR Schroeder Plumbing Cup Series. Of course, got to give a huge thank you to Schroeder Plumbing, who is a family-run company that's been in business for over 50 years in the southeastern Wisconsin area. They specialize in residential new construction and remodeling plumbing services. They also work with several local builders, or they will work with individuals hoping to build their dream home or do their own remodeling. Give them a call today. Their office number is 262-971-0401. That number, once again, is 262-971-0401. Schroeder Plumbing. They've brought us our fantastic Cup Series and, of course, our great playoffs. So, huge thank you to them. And, of course, to WEAG Designs. You can find them on Instagram at WEAG_designs. They provide several of the paints out in the field. Really, two main paint providers out there, Skylord Graphics and WEAG Designs. I know Pierce Graphics puts together a few out there, as well as I had also made Brady's, and well, you can usually see the quality difference between who got the nice ones from Skylord and WEAG, and who did mine. Anyway, so I got to give a huge thank you, of course, to them and to you, the viewer, for joining us here tonight. And we will be back in 2 weeks' time to join us at Iowa. I was wrong last week. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I really should have memorized the schedule at this point. I just haven't. We've all been busy, right? Anyway, so thank you, of course, once again for coming out, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time for the Short Track Fanatic at Charlotte.